Hey guys, and welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. So this video is part 2 of 2. So yesterday I did a video where we spoke about Solal Retro Gaming, the awesome developer that brought us the Toki core, and they're talking about potential future projects. Now, what they spoke about were TAD Corporation games like this one here, Toki, and as well as that, some Seibu games. Now, I made a mistake in yesterday's video where I mentioned the TAD Corporation games and I only mentioned like 5 or 6 Seibu games. Turns out there's a lot more, so thank you for correcting me in the comments. Someone said, no, there's more games, and I was like, no. And when I double checked my work, I kind of looked at one particular hardware that Seibu used. So what we're going to do in this video, guys, is we're going to look at the rest of the games, and there's some bangers in there. There's some oldies in here. Goldie oldies, can we say? But there's definitely some bangers here from my era of the arcade. So before we begin part 2, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, then a subscription and a like is super duper appreciated. Let's see what other possibilities we have from the Seibu collection. One of the games that you guys mentioned, so we looked at sequels to this game in yesterday's video. So this is Raiden. Someone actually in the comments of yesterday's video said, I'll be mind blown when they actually tell me the name of this game. And it's pronounced Leiden. Leiden, that's correct. And it kind of makes sense because remember the King of Fighters game when the round starts and the text appears saying ready, and instead of ready, it says Leddy. So the same principle. Guys, Leiden. I want to call it Raiden. That's what I'm used to calling it. Raiden is fantastic. Used to play in the arcade. I love the physics on the enemy helicopters, the way they fly in at you, and when they stop, we'll see it in a second. And this is just like those shmups where what happens is you want to get the power up, but there's a lot of bullets around, and the greed for you to not miss the power up ends up making you lose a life. Well, definitely in my case. What I want to have a look at as well is, let's have a look at the list. So the games that I've highlighted at the bottom, highlighted in blue, that's what we covered in yesterday's video, and all the rest of the games we are gonna cover in today's videos. But even looking at a quick video then, or in some cases just a screenshot. Some of the games are really old, you can see, from 1983 and what again all the way up to 1998. But in today's video we are gonna stop at Raiden DX, which is 1994. So grab yourself a snack, shouldn't take too long, but let's have a look at the games then. I'm really hoping we get some of these over on FPGA devices such as the MiSTer and the Analogue Pocket. Raiden would just be fantastic. Seriously, this is such a great game. Let's go straight from Leiden 1 to Leiden 2. Now, I don't think I played this in the arcade. It looks very similar to number 1, and no doubt it holds up. 1 will always be the original, but hey, I like the helicopters, I like the way they move, even from what I'm seeing here. So again, absolutely fantastic, an arcade classic, the Leiden series of games. This one here, Leiden, Raiden 2, Raiden 2. And this one here is Leiden DX. Now, we looked at some of the newer ones, and some of you guys in the comments of yesterday's video said there was a collection on the Xbox 360 with the newer games on there, and they were really, really good. I feel like I've played this one at some point. It looks very familiar. I like the water effects at the bottom and the little bubble ripples that kind of pop out. But yeah, this is Leiden DX, and it just looks fantastic. I like these shmups. Honestly, can't get enough shmups. Can't have enough shmups. In this section here, we're just going to have a look at a few images of some games because I didn't have videos handy, and honestly, I didn't have the time to sit around and capture footage. So the games here, we've got Seibu Cup Soccer, Pop and Run. Then we've got Olympic Soccer, a game called Knuckle Joe. That looks all right. That's the one in the top right, and that does look interesting. Maybe I should have played that one. And the final one being Cross Shooter. Do let me know if you played these in the arcade, if you had a special time with them. But there's a lot of games to cover, so apologies. These ones, just pictures. This one here is Dead Angle, and it kind of looks interesting. Not something that I've ever played in the arcade, but it's the kind of game that when I saw something like this in the arcade, I was intrigued. I kind of like the games with the crosshairs and we could see the character. Big fan of Cabal, and there was like those ones on the Neo Geo. Kind of like these games. Not sure how well it did, but yeah, this looks interesting. Dead Angle. This one here is Dynamite Duke, and we can see the Tecmo logo there. So this was actually licensed to a company called Fabtech. Now Dynamite Duke, again, looking at Dead Angle, then looking at this, they kind of continued with that, you know, where you've got the camera behind your character and you're attacking the enemies, melee attacks, gun attacks. Interesting. Now, someone in the comments yesterday, big shout out to you for the information you laid out, said that this game actually got Seibu into trouble and they were on the brink of bankruptcy. So their next game was either make or break. So what they did is they said, well, let's look at something that's working, that's bringing a lot of money, and let's copy it. So then Raiden or Leiden was born. They copied Tiger Heli, they copied the formula, and it worked. So yeah, Dynamite Duke, yeah, not too familiar with this game, but after this, they went into Raiden or Leiden. Empire City 1931. Now, when you first have a look at this, you think to yourself, oh, is this a light gun game? I mean, you've got like Dick Tracy or Dick Tracy's cousin down there shooting with one of his Tommy guns, and you've got a crosshair on screen. So naturally, you may think, okay, this is actually a light gun game. But apparently, on a bit of reading that I did, you actually control the crosshair with an arcade stick. Sounds weird. I mean, I completed Operation Wolf on my Commodore 64 with an arcade stick, one of my greatest gaming achievements, but it's definitely not the way we want to play these games. But either way, Empire City 1931 looks interesting. Kung Fu Taikun almost reminds me of the movie Taken, where a guy acquires a set of skills, well in this case makes you good at single screen platformy games, and it looks interesting. I do like the attacks that are on here. This seems like the kind of game that a port would have come out for like the Commodore 64 or the Atari 800. I have no idea if it did, but this looks kind of interesting. Again, before my time in the arcade, but I do have some appreciation for games like this. They're focusing on the fun. I would have loved to have been around at the boardroom meeting where they're discussing games and they're like, you know what should we call the next game? So they made the character, it's a boy with a mustache. I mean, this guy hit puberty pretty early. It looks like a puzzle game of some type, and I like puzzle games like this. I like them a lot. In fact, I really used to like playing stuff like this on the Game Boy. So, Mustache Boy. Interesting, for sure. Mustache. Pinball games are usually fun. I've never heard of this one up until doing this video today. So this is called Panic Road, and I guess you'd be panicking as well if you were playing pinball with like a octopus and a squid around. Kind of reminds me of Splatoon a bit, but maybe I've just played so much Splatoon, every time I see a squid, whether it's on a plate or on a TV screen, I just think Splatoon. But no, this is Panic Road. Do I pronounce this Scion? I'm not exactly sure, but one thing I am sure of, this is an early days vertical shmup, vertical shooter. Kind of reminds me of like Xavius and games from that era. Do like the colors in here, it looks very bright and colorful, and the background in particular looks really nice, where the background, like the way they're scrolling at different speeds, creates the illusion that the one really low down is, well, really far away. Shot Rider, a motorbike game, and Shot Rider kind of reminds me of like if you were a drug dealer and you were going around selling shots of some kind of narcotics, there would be, hey, it's the Shot Rider. He goes around delivering crackheads their goodies for some money. Right, but anyway, this is Shot Rider, a motorbike game. Reminds me a little bit of Spy Hunter. What do you think, guys? And what do we have here, Mr. Stinger? It stings. Well, I guess it will sting if there's a horizontally flying ship shooting stuff. At the very least, it's gonna sting before it blows up your ship. So, again, don't know much about this game. Before my era of the arcades, but yeah, it does look good. Again, a lot of these games remind me of like when I had 8-bit computers and it had like ports of arcade games on it. They were similar to this. Not as good looking, but similar in their style and potentially the gameplay. So if you took the game Gauntlet, actually not Gauntlet, what was that thing in, not Ewok, what was that thing in He-Man? You know, the one with that little hat on, I can't remember, it used to float around. Also, let's talk Final Fantasy VII, where you had the thing with a hat on, kind of reminds me of that. This game does kind of look alright, like I definitely would have jammed this in the arcade. Again, it looks like it's before my time, but I like the way it looks. So, Wiz the Wiz with his magic wand, hitting those, I don't know what the heck they are, but yeah, Wiz looks good. The final game we are having a look at is Zero Team, also known as Zero Team USA. Now, what's interesting about this, I think like there's different versions of this game because I'm playing this game over here, but when I played it previously, the beginning level was completely different. You didn't come out of a helicopter. There wasn't a helicopter there at the beginning. And yeah, it was very, very different. So we're looking at one version of this, but I'm pretty sure there's different versions of this. Either that or the version I played, the levels will mix around. But it was definitely very, very different. Guys, this is a fantastic brawler. In fact, one of the best games made by Seibu. It just works really, really well. You can do dragon punches in this, man. I can't remember the motion. It might be like down, up, but hey, you can do dragon punches, combo into them, and hey, any game where you can pick up gas cylinders and throw them at people and they explode is just absolutely dandy. So guys, that's it for this video. Massive shout out to Solal Retro Gaming for his awesome work. I'll leave a link to his Ko-fi if you want to support the guy's work. He is a new developer on the scene and he came with a banging core Toki. So it'll be interesting to see what he does next, whether it will be something from Tat Corporation or Seibu. Either way, I definitely look forward to his work. I really do look forward to an FPGA implementation of this. In fact, I'm pretty sure when I've done videos, of course, I would like to see come over. I've always dropped this core in there, or on a number of occasions I have. It's just such a great game. The art direction, the characters, everything about this game it's fantastic. If you like brawlers, you'll like this game. Now, full disclaimer here, never played this in the arcade. Someone actually recommended this to me in a video I did of a different brawler, saying, yo, Pixel, have you checked out Zero Team or Zero Team USA? And I checked it out and I was like, yes, I absolutely love it. Try it out on emulation now, but hopefully we'll be playing some of these games, or at least one of these games, on FPGA gaming platforms such as the MiSTerFPGA and the Analogue Pocket in the future. Again, take everything I say with a grain of salt, take it with a little bit of skepticism. Things happen, sometimes things get delayed, sometimes calls don't get developed, but Solal's Retro Gaming has said that once they kind of make Toki more accurate, they're looking at doing other or their next game or their next course. So absolutely wish him the best. Look forward to his work. And that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, thumbs up. If you hated it, thumbs down. And if you super duper loved it, then subscribe to the channel. Anyway, guys, this is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.